Hi there, this is Markittleman, speech-language pathologist, and welcome to the teaching of talking. This particular video is going to be about remembering names, or remembering words. Many of us have had in the past a challenge remembering names. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody where you met them for the first time and they told you their name and you thought, well, I better remember this, and then the conversation ends, and a few minutes later you realize that the name is gone. It's not there. It wasn't recorded. It wasn't stable in the brain, and then you realize that you don't know their name, and you then start maybe being self-critical. Well, that happens to all of us. It's happened to me, and it's happened to just about everyone I know. And I've published two YouTube videos on this that have also been on Facebook. So if you want to look for additional strategies on remembering names, it's right on YouTube if you search for it and put my name in. I'll also have the links below. But one of the key principles in remembering a name is just to make sure that you hear it right. Many of us, we meet somebody and they tell us our name and we're thinking about something or we're noticing something about them. And we think we've heard the name, but we haven't really listened for the name. And so what happens sometimes is that a person will tell us their name maybe once or twice, and maybe even then we still can't seem to remember it. Well, one of the key things that you got to remember is that in that initial conversation, you have to repeat that name. You got to repeat it a number of times. So if I met a guy by the name of Mark Edelman, I'd say, well, Mark, how are you doing today? Or, well, Mark, where are you from? Well, Mark, are you married? Well, Mark, do you have any children? And then you can make another statement, say, well, I have 3 children myself, Mark, and blah, blah, blah. So you use that name. You use the name. And then if you want to remember the last name, you want to go, oh, Idelman, Idelman. That's like Idelman. And then you can think of an association. When I introduce myself to people, I say, my name is Mark Idelman, and my last name is Idelman, not Little Man, not Little Man. Take the L off, and you have Idelman. So I help people, and I give them a cue. But that's not what this particular video is about. There are a bunch of strategies, and if you learn the strategies, man, you will remember names elegantly. But there's a piece of the pie here that is often not even discussed in terms of remembering names or even remembering words. And that is it important for me to know this word? Is it important to me to know this person's name? Okay? So the thing you got to remember is that it's got to be important to you. There are a lot of people, I've been at places and in my brain, I had this belief that it wasn't going to be all that important for me to remember a name. That was back in the day, okay? And then now, when I go someplace or when I speak to people, I think, and this is what you should do also, that person's name is the most important name in the world. I mean, that person's name is important as, meeting a president or a congressman or a famous person or an old friend from the past. That name has to be important to you. It has to be important to you that you remember the name. So when you go into any situation now where you are meeting a person for the first time, you're going to do at least two things. Number one is you have to have in your brain that it's important for you to remember this person's name. That person's name is the most important name in the world to you. And you know, you never really know who a person is who you're going to meet. I mean, they could be, they could be extremely helpful in your life. You know, when we meet people, we never know what's going to happen in the relationship, if we're going to have a relationship with them, if we're not going to have a relationship. But if you show them that you are interested in their name and that you use their name repeatedly, because guess what? A person's name is the most important word to each and every person. So whenever you use their name, it's like stroking them on the back. It's like giving them a gift. People love to hear their name repeated in a conversation. And you know something? When you do that, when you use their name intermittently in a conversation, when you do that, they are going to realize that it is important to you and it is important to them. And they're going to really think that you really care about them. And when we meet people and we think that people care about us, gosh, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We like them immediately. And rapport is very, very important. So in review, I've done two other videos on remembering names, and they're going to be below. There are going to be links below this video. And the other thing is to use their name repeatedly in the conversation and make sure that you listen for their last name too, and that you make some kind of comment about their last name. Markittleman. Where does that name Ittleman come from? You know, have a conversation about their last name, Ittleman. What does that mean? Does that mean something in English, or does that mean something in the language where your ancestors came from, Ittleman? Does that mean something? You know, make a comment about it. Ask a question about it. Because every time you repeat the name, whether it be the first name or the last name, they're going to feel even better about you, and you're going to learn that name even faster. The other thing you want to remember is that a person's name for you from now on is going to be very, very, very vital. And in fact, you're going to remember their name and use their name because that person may be very, very, very instrumental in your life. They may become your best of friend. They may become a resource. They may become somebody who can refer you to somebody or to help you with something. So it's extremely critical. This is Mark Ittleman, speech-language pathologist, having a conversation with you today about remembering names. And we help people not only remember names, but we help people remember words, especially those with aphasia. If you'd like some more information about aphasia, before you even do that, please give us a thumbs up. And also press on the bell so that you can get notifications about our video. But if you want to find out more about aphasia, we've got a ton of videos online that will help you get up to speed on information about aphasia. And this is for caregivers as well as speech-language pathologists. Down below, you can also join our Facebook page. Down below, there's a link to our website where there's a survey on there. So if you want to speak to me, you can do that. And we invite you to become a member of the Teaching of Talking family. So we hope you've enjoyed this video, and we hope you've learned from it. And we hope to see you and communicate with you in the future. We help those with aphasia, and we help those with speaking difficulties. So we want you to have a great day today. Goodbye, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.